Whoa, buddy. Put that thing back in its holster. We haven't gone anywhere.
I don't understand.
Check out the MichaelDukesShow.com for information on how to get access to the podcast.
Welcome to the party, pal.
The Michael Dukes Show.
The greed and the entitlement is astounding to me.
What more could you want from a low-budget radio program?
This is a dumpster fire.
That was just BS.
It is time to get a new perspective.
We know just what you need, and we've got just the cure. Open wide and prepare for a steaming hot cup of freedom.
I just don't fathom it.
The Michael Dukes Show, streaming live across the world.
Live around the world on the internet at MichaelDukesShow.com and across the state of Alaska on this, your favorite radio station and or FM translator. Good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to Thursday. This week is just flying by, man. It's just flying by. We are 20 days away from Christmas Eve. 20 days. Did you get all your presents put together? Have you get that? Get that out of your hair, man. Nobody needs that kind of stress of, oh my God, I forgot to get the last one. No, get it all done now. Get it done, get it over with, and then just enjoy the season. Enjoy it. Then you can remember the reason for the season. Once you get all that stuff, squared away, you get your Christmas dinner, your Christmas Eve dinner planned, you get all that done, the presents are ready, everything's, then you can just be like, wow, it just feels so good. It's amazing. I recommend it. I highly, highly recommend it. Anyway, welcome to Thursday. It is a beautiful day here. And in light of the holiday season, today we're going to dedicate the whole show to good news and fun things and positive, stuff that has happened. I love the way it kind of all worked out today, even with my little screw up yesterday scheduling. Today, we're going to be talking with Natalie Thomas, who is with the Nikolaevsk School, the Charter School group and committee. And we're going to talk with her about the whole process and everything that happened. And the good news is, obviously, it's all been approved, and we're excited about that. And so we're going to see where it goes from here and what kind of help that they need to continue. But we're going to kind of go through the whole process and talk a little bit about what it was like. And, it was an arduous process. Everything that I've been told and everything that I've read and it was a deal. It was an ordeal, so we're going to go through all that and talk about that. In hour 2, we're going to be talking with Crystal Laramore, who is with the Wheelchairs for Warriors project. And we're going to talk with her about the genesis of that, where that came from. I mean, you hear about it all over the place, and they do a lot of good work, but how did that get started and everything else? It should be a fun show. I'm looking forward to it today. A couple quick announcements before we go and jump right into this. First and foremost, a reminder that we being the royal we, me and the rest of the program, we're going to be on hiatus from December 22nd through January 1st, that whole week. And in fact, that means we'll be returning to the airwaves on Monday, January 5th. That will be the first show of the new year. Will be Monday the 5th. And so from that week of Christmas onward, it's just going to be, we'll have alternate programming, and, it's one of those things. So, but that's where I take my normal vacation, just to kind of relax and rest and recharge. I mean, let's face it, nobody wants to talk politics between Christmas and New Year's, right? I mean, nobody wants to talk politics leading up to Christmas, but anyway, so December 22nd, January 5th is the day that we go silent, and then January 5th is the day we return. Second piece of news before we jump into it here with Natalie, there's a winter weather advisory for the Anchorage and Matsu area. Oh, what is it? It's a mix of freezing rain and light snow, ice accumulation with a light glaze for Anchorage, Eagle River, the lower Matsu, the southern Susitna, all until 6 p.m. this evening. They're expecting travel to be difficult. Roads are going to be slick and hazardous. A light period of freezing rain this morning combined with surface temperatures right around freezing is going to lead to some glazing, and not the good donut-y kind of glazing, but the other kind of glazing. And so it's going to be a little dangerous. Down here on the Kenai Peninsula, a mix of freezing rain, light snow, accumulation of a light glaze, minor snow accumulation. Again, interior Kenai, Turnagain Pass, Ski Lake, all those areas. Travel could be difficult. Hazardous conditions could impact the Thursday morning commute. And there's going to be additional periods of light freezing rain, sleet, and snow combined with surface temperatures, again, right around freezing. So, again, more glazing on the roads. So be careful. That's the thing. Be careful today. It's going to be a little greasy out there. All right. So, without further pause for effect, let's jump into this here and get things ready. We're going to dive into our good news for today. It is it's a good way to get started. Natalie Thomas this morning, and she is going to share with us some stories and everything else. We're talking about what's going on out there in Nikolaevsk, and the whole story behind their charter school and everything else. Let's get started as she joins us right now. Good morning, Natalie. How are you?
Good morning. Doing well. Nice to be back with you again.
It's good to see you again, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about what's going on. So I guess the good news first. The good news is, finally, the Nikolaevsk Charter School has been approved by the school board, which is the governing body for charter schools. And tell us a little bit about this latest good news. Tell us how this came about and your guys' reaction.
So it was November 17th that the school board voted and passed by a 5-3 vote. And we were all in tears of joy and just couldn't believe that after 4 years it's finally happened and we get to move forward and start planning to start school in August.
Yeah, so you guys are like ready to go for this next season. I mean, this is it. You guys are coming into it in August, which means that you're going to spend the next 8 months doing enrollment, applications, the whole schmear. I mean, you guys are going to be looking to get everybody involved, right?
Yep, we have to hire a principal and teachers and staff, and we'll be building furniture for the school and putting the word out to the community. We have a presentation planned for the community on January 9th. That's a Friday at 6 p.m. at the school. And so we want the community to come out and bring the whole family. And we're going to be serving Gigi's Pizza and salad, and hopefully have a fun outdoor activity planned for the kids. And you can come and meet the academic policy committee members like myself and others and fill out pre-enrollment forms and tour the facility. So we want everyone to come out January 9th, 6 p.m. to the school and come meet us and hear what we're about.
All right. Well, that's that's the good news. The good news is it started. They got thing. January 9th is the big meeting. But let's roll back the clock a little bit here, Natalie. Let's talk a little bit about the process. Now, we know that the Nikolaevsk school was closed by the borough in this last round of cuts as they tried to tackle and deal with the fact that they have a drop in enrollment and they had a budget crisis and everything else. And Nikolaevsk, of course, was on the chopping block. But this goes back even further than that. You guys have been trying to create a charter school there in Nikolaevsk, which is a small community, kind of triangulated between Homer and the Anchor Point area up there. But tell us a little bit about how long ago this got started and what you guys are trying to do.
It started in 2001 when a group of parents decided to try to start a charter school. And at that time, they were hoping to share the school building with the former Nikolaevsk public school. And unfortunately, there was a missed deadline of submitting a intent to start a charter school application. And so that did not go through. And then in 2003, the initiative was started up again and was not approved by the school board at that time. So 2004, they took a short break, and that's when we started the Nikolaevsk Homeschool Co-op, which was sort of a trial run for the charter school that we're envisioning now. And so we had 24 students, I believe, and we were meeting at the Zala, which is the meeting hall of the St. Nicholas Church in the village there. And we eventually were able to move into the public school. We had 2 classrooms, one for elementary and one for middle and high school. And that's when we started implementing the Montessori model for the elementary and the CTE, or Career Technical Education model, for the high school. And our co-op was a great success. We all were wanting to do it again, but when the public school shut down, that gave us sort of the impetus to try the charter school one more time. And so this time it went through, and we're so excited for the community and for all the students. They're going to be able to come back to the school and get back to learning and get back to being part of their own community instead of having to go all the way to Homer or Anchor Point for school.
Right. And that was the biggest challenge, was that if they had closed the school, you guys would be busing all the kids out, like an hour to the schools in Anchor Point or other places to try and it's a long trip both ways. I mean, it's 90 minutes a day or something, 2 hours a day to go back and forth. So it was a huge problem, and this was your way to solve it.
Right. Yeah, it's a long bus ride, and the bus doesn't even leave from the village. It leaves from the corner of Nikolaevsk Road and North Fork Road. And so parents would still have to transport their kids down the hill and get them to North Fork Road before they can even get on the bus. And so for parents that are working, that aren't home when their kids get dropped off at the corner of North Fork, that's a big problem.
So tell me a little bit here about the original, because again, this has been, you kind of summated it a bit, but this was a deeper deal. I mean, there were some big kind of pushes and fights and arguments. Even in this last application that was approved, there was a lot of contention about, you don't have a fiscal model, you don't have this, you don't have that. So let's go back here. Well, actually, we're coming up on the break, so we're going to take a break. But when we come back, you could tell me about the early days and how, there was resistance. And it seems like we see this resistance a lot of times to charter schools because the governing body is the local school board. And I don't know if they just don't like losing control, or they don't like other people trying to do, dabble in their business, or whatever the deal is. But it seems like it's always a little bit of a hesitancy or anything else. So we'll talk about some of those challenges here in just a moment. Natalie Thomas is our guest. She's with the Nikolaevsk Charter School. What's the name of the organization again, Natalie? I keep messing it up.
The Academic Policy Committee is the governing body of a charter school, and it's made up of parents and a community member.
Okay. All right. So the Academic Policy Committee with the Nikolaevsk Charter School. So we're going to continue here in just a second. Don't go anywhere. The Michael Duke Show continues. We got more coming up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. The Michael Duke Show, common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. We'll return with more in just a moment. Don't forget, Crystal Laramore with the Wheelchairs for Warriors will be joining us in hour 2. We'll be back right after this.
If you missed the show, you can listen to it on your time with Dukes On Demand. Oh, and it's free. Like America used to be. Streaming live every weekday morning on Facebook Live and MichaelDukesShow.com.
Okay, we are in the break, and we are continuing to talk with Natalie Thomas. I know that there is a bit of an echo when that's because you can hear my voice when I'm talking on her phone. So I'm jockeying the controls here to make sure that doesn't work. So if it does pop every now and then, I apologize. We'll deal with it. It was good for that. Natalie, it's got to be, and you guys must have thrown a party when this whole thing came through. It must have been this Herculean effort to get it all done. And you must feel like, I mean, I know there's a lot of work to do forward, but that must have been a huge milestone to get through this.
Yeah, we did literally throw a party that night. And so the whole Academic Policy Committee and all of our family members gathered at one of the members' houses for hamburgers and ice cream, and it was a big celebration.
Yeah, this whole thing, and I've been watching this whole movement of charter schools. It's not just Nikolaevsk, it's across the state. And they have all faced trying to navigate the bureaucratic morass that is the whole, foundational effort of charter schools and the requirements and the fact that you've got that the governing bodies are the school districts of these local areas. Again, there's kind of a adversarial. As I was alluding to earlier, there's kind of an adversarial relationship between us because, especially in areas where you don't have a school. You didn't have a school in Nikolaevsk after they closed the school. I don't know if that made it easier or harder. We can get to that, but it seems like in areas where there are already schools and somebody wants to form a charter school, it becomes that much harder because then the school districts or the boards feel like, well, they're competing against us and they're taking our money, and it just feels like it's a little confrontational in that way, and that seems to make it a little bit difficult to be able to pull all that stuff together.
It does make it touchy, especially if there are existing schools in the community already, because it's going to take some students and possibly teachers and resources and spread them out more thinly. In the case with Nikolaevsk Public School being shut down, in some ways it made it easier because we're not having to navigate sharing a building and all of that. And in some ways it, I think, makes it a lot harder because the district had, in a sense, washed their hands of the school and decided to close it because of low enrollment. So to reopen it again, and it's not the same school, obviously, it's running under a charter, so it's a new and different school, but it makes it hard because, like I said, they decided unanimously to close the school down. So to get them to give us a chance to try running the school was a monumental feat, to say the least.
No, it sounds like it was again a Herculean effort for sure to make it all happen. And of course, part of the problem with enrollment and things like that have to do with the fact that many people, I think in Nikolaevsk and in other areas, have decided to try alternatives to regular brick and mortar school, and so that contributed to some of that lower enrollment. Am I wrong?
Yeah, a lot of the families, because of the geographical barriers, had decided to homeschool. And so that was um, what drove us to build a homeschool program into the charter school. So, in addition to a 5-day a week, full time on campus school, we also are offering a correspondence program through Nikolaevsk Charter School. So, like Connections or IDEA, families can enroll their students as homeschool students. They will receive an allotment just like you do with IDEA or Connections. But what makes us different is their students can take classes on campus at Nikolaevsk and have access to a certified homeschool advisor on campus at Nikolaevsk. So,
All right, we're gonna jump back into it here. We're getting ready to go. The Michael Duke Show.
Public enema number one. Oh, wait, sorry. Public enemy number one, which makes more sense. On the other hand, he's a little bit of a pain in the Michael Duke Show.
Yep, that's me, pain in the something or other. Good morning. Welcome back to the program. We're continuing now with Natalie Thomas, who's with the Nikolaevsk Charter School group, talking about this process, which is long and drawn out to try and get charter schools put together. And I want to talk just a minute here, going back in the Wayback Machine here to when this whole thing got started. Part of the challenge, and I was just saying this during the break, was that, already they've had some challenges in Nikolaevsk with enrollment. Part of that had to do with people putting their kids in homeschool. They were dissatisfied with what the local school was doing under the district, or there was challenges geographically or whatever. And so originally, when you guys were putting this together, before you missed that first deadline, there was already some reticence to, I guess, school under the brick and mortar style to begin with. Is that right, Natalie?
That's what I hear. I was living in Homer 4 years ago. I've been in Nikolaevsk going on 3 years. And so my children were not in school in Nikolaevsk at that time. So I don't have firsthand knowledge of parents' dissatisfaction with the school administration at that time. But I know they've been suffering low enrollment and since COVID hit, and a lot more people were homeschooling or choosing other options. So, but because of talking to community members and reaching out to families, we know that we have a lot of support and people want to see their children back in the school building, and they're excited about the program that we have planned at the charter school.
I'm going to ask you about some numbers here because I know, again, one of the reasons why the school district decided to shut down the building was because enrollment was kind of low. But there are a bunch of kids and a bunch of students in the community. What was the enrollment numbers like when they decided to shut the school down versus what you guys are bringing to the table as a charter school? What are the comparative numbers? Can you give me some ballpark figures here?
So I believe that they had around 20 students when the school closed down, and we have around 90 students that have intended to enroll in the charter school, and that's spread across both the homeschool program and the full-time in-person 5-day a week program. So we have about roughly 50 students that are going to come full-time, and so far, now that we are approved and we are going to be reaching out to the community through our presentation on January 9th, we anticipate filling up. And so we are going to have 4 classes. There's going to be a K through 2 class, a 3rd through 5th grade class, a 6th through 8th grade class, and a high school class. And we're going to have 20 students or less per class, so up to 80 students in person, and then up to 75 homeschool students for our first year. Those are our caps for enrollment.
And what is the response so far in the community? Again, you're having this meeting on January the 9th to educate the rest of the community about what you're trying to achieve. And again, your new homeschooling program, which Lisa in the chat room said is going to be more like IDEA, the Interior Distance Education Association type rules versus what Connections has been doing. But tell us, you're trying to again create this hybrid model, and the community so far seems to have been very supportive of that.
That's right. Even parents that are committed to homeschooling are excited about this program because it's just going to be more access to your certified teacher advisor, because they're going to be on campus at the school. And it's going to be easier for kids to be involved in school activities that are homeschooling. So for high school students, they can take up to 2 classes on campus. They can take CTE and a core high school class. They can participate in quarterly projects. We're an agricultural-based school, so our quarterly projects are going to be focused around agriculture. We're going to be building a school garden in year 1, and in year 2 we're going to be incorporating livestock. There's going to be farm to table cooking and food preservation, and so we hope to have all the families involved in those projects, both homeschool and the students that are coming full-time.
According to the recommendations, and this was again part of that process and why it becomes so difficult. According to the agenda, the district administration, this is from the Peninsula Clarion, had recommended non-approval of the initial application due to, quote, lack of demonstrated fiscal responsibility and sustainability, unresolved facilities and lease agreement concerns, incomplete non-compliant enrollment documentation, inconsistencies with KPBSD board policy. I mean, there was a lot of things that the administration, the school administration, was saying, no, we don't think that this should be approved. How did you guys overcome all that in front of the board? What was give me some point by points here, what you guys did to convince them, even though the school district is saying, no, the board did say yes in a 5-3 vote. What did you guys do? How did you convince them that this was the way to go?
Well, I think a lot of their hesitation had to do with the school facility. The building is still owned by the borough, and they were arguing that we didn't have a lease agreement signed with the borough. But without an approval, you can't really secure a lease agreement. No one's going to sign a lease agreement.
We want you to prove you have an agreement, but we're not going to. You have to commit before we say yes. That's kind of a crazy thing.
But the agreement is in works. It is happening. Alaska Homestead Education is a nonprofit that was established in 2003 to support the charter school. So if you have a nonprofit associated with your charter school, it's easier to get grants and funding and accept donations and those sorts of things. And so it's actually Alaska Homestead Education, the nonprofit, that is going to be leasing the school building. And so I think that was part of the hang up with the district administration. But Alaska Homestead Education is all about supporting the community of Nikolaevsk and the charter school and furthering food security and education inside the village and beyond.
So you guys were able to overcome all these. I mean, because again, it was a litany of things that they said, oh, you're not ready. You didn't have this. You didn't have that. You guys were able to show to the board enough, at least to convince them that you are ready for all these. You are ready for all these things with enrollment and fiscal stability and sustainability and all these other things.
Right. The borough has been working with Alaska Homestead Education, and the lease and facility will be secured. We're having the presentation in the school on January 9th with the blessing of the borough, and so they're opening up the building for us to host this community meeting so that we can tell everyone about the charter school and show the facility to families and get them to enroll their students and get to see what it's all about and what we have planned.
The original application, which went through on October the 1st, you guys were very busy from October the 1st through November the 17th because you had to go through what, 5 different iterations of this application. You had to amend it and change it over and over and over again to try and satisfy the powers that be there.
It was a full-time job. We pretty much lived at Mariah's kitchen table during those several months and spent probably 40 hours a week working on the charter and corresponding with the district administration and trying to address each one of their requirements and concerns. And it was a hard process to navigate. I've heard that a lot of charters take up to 2 years to write, and I think we started in July or so.
Wow, it's this whole thing is seems to be again a Herculean effort, just a monumental lift to get where you need to go. But here you are, and you're ready to go. The help from the Alaska Homestead Education was critical to this, right? I mean, this was the way that you guys were able to see this thing through and forward from here.
Yeah, so Alaska Homestead Education is the one pursuing the facility, pursuing the building, and the public school building is the only public building in Nikolaevsk. And so Alaska Homestead Education and the Nikolaevsk Community Council really want to see the building used to its full potential. So with Alaska Homestead Education being the one leasing the facility, it allows the facility to be used for other community purposes during summer and when school's not in session. And so we could have adult education classes, community events, things like that inside the school building.
Again, the wild card on this whole thing is the outside enrollment, I'm sorry, not the charter school, the homeschool enrollment, right? Because you guys had 25 or so students ahead of time, but there were 50, 60 students who have been previously enrolled in programs like Connections or Idea or something like that. So now the whole goal is to convert those folks from whatever homeschooling program they're using now to the Nikolaevsk homeschooling program. And you guys are modeling that like similar to Idea, or what's the impetus to get them to move from something like Idea or something Connections to come to the school? Is again the community aspect of it? Is it similar rules? How is that model?
So Connections and Idea provide an allotment to their students. So it's $2,700 a year that they can use for materials and classes. So if that kind of money allows families to afford, ballet and music lessons and things like that. So it's critical for homeschool students to have those resources to enrich their education and be able to take part in those extracurricular things that their parents might not otherwise afford to do. And so that's why we knew that we wanted to have an allotment as well in our homeschool program. With Connections, that allotment is specific to the student. With IDEA, it's more like a family style allotment. So if one student runs out of their allotment for the year, their parents can choose to pull from the other siblings' allotments as well. And I found that personally that was really helpful being part of IDEA, because one of my kids had like $1,000 of rollover money in their allotment, and the other kids had run out, and I wanted to sign them all up for swim lessons, and I wasn't able to because when I was with Connections, because the other kids' allotments had run out. But with IDEA, it's a family pool of money, and so I found that to be really helpful. So we knew we wanted to incorporate that into our allotment program. So with Nikolaevsk Charter School, it will be like a family style allotment.
And the curriculum you talked about in the lower K through 6, that will be Montessori. K through 8, that'll be like Montessori style. And then the high school is more focused on career technical education, CTE.
That's right. So Montessori is over 100 years old, teaching philosophy, and a big part of that is multi-age classrooms, which just happens to translate really well to a small school like ours, where we'd have to have multi-age classrooms anyway because of the size of the school. So it'll be a K through 2 classroom, a 3rd through 5th grade classroom, 6th through 8th grade classroom, and then we'll have our high school class. And we're having a 20-to-1 student to teacher ratio. So it's going to be small class sizes so kids can get more individual attention. With Montessori, it's all about hands-on. So the materials are hands-on and accessible to the kids. There's a lot of movement and independence in the classroom. So the kids have a weekly work plan, and they know what they need to complete by the end of the week. And they learn to manage their time and tasks with the freedom to choose in what order they complete their weekly work plan. And Soldotna Montessori is a charter school in Soldotna, and it's been extremely successful. They've been going for, I think, like over 20 years now. And they're one of the highest scoring schools for both math and language arts. So we know that Montessori works. We know it's super desirable. Soldotna Montessori has a huge wait list. And it really translates well into CTE, which is career technical education, which is also by nature very hands-on. And so for our high school CTE program, in the first year, we're doing architecture and construction. So all of our high school students will be taking our architecture and construction CTE class, and that's going to be in 3-hour blocks on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons. And so they'll be learning to design and build. They'll be building our school garden, chicken coops, and goat sheds, and outdoor kitchens, and really building up the future agricultural program of the school. And the homeschool high school students will also be able to take part in that as well if they wish. And if they want to take CTE and a math class, they can do that as well. The high school is going to be run on a block schedule of 90-minute blocks to really give the students time to focus on whatever subject they're working on, and the teacher better time to manage the multi-grade classroom.
Right. And you guys, of course, as parents, are going to be, monitoring this, helping with this, watching, but you're also going to have, like you said, contact teachers that come from the district or that you hire to do it. You're a stay-at-home mom, obviously, taking care of your kids, but you're going to have some of that. That's the beauty of a charter or a home correspondence school, is that you will have some of that professional teacher help from that you guys are hiring. Are they from the district, or where are they coming from?
Right. So a charter school is a publicly funded school, so it is a public school. So we will be hiring teachers. I think the jobs first get posted within the district, so teachers within the district already kind of have the first right of hire, and then we can also hire from outside the state or district as well. But one great thing about charter schools is it does have higher levels of parent involvement. Like, it's run by an academic policy committee made up of parents, and tends to have parents volunteering quite often. So it's really just a community-based school where the whole family is involved in supporting the kids' education.
All right, we're going to continue one final segment dead ahead. Natalie Thomas is our guest. We're going to talk a little bit more about the meeting in January and what they need from the community and the surrounding areas to help make this a success. We're going to continue with Natalie Thomas from the Nikolaevsk Charter School. We'll be back with more in just a moment. The Michael Duke Show. Common sense, liberty-based, free thinking radio.
We're broadcasting live through a series of tubes,
allowing all of these entities to provide streaming stuff going on the internet.
well, it's kind of hard to explain. Sorry. Streaming live every weekday morning on Facebook Live and MichaelDukesShow.com.
Okay, we are in the break right now. Harold, of course, is asking about your background. You're so articulate. You're so focused and clear, but you're just a mom that's trying to help your kids, right? I mean, this is not like you're the professional teacher, principal / whatever. You're just a mom trying to help your kids.
Yeah, not at all. My background's not very glamorous. I did go to college in San Diego. That's where I'm from. And I moved to Alaska 13 years ago and was working in restaurants. And then when I started having a family, I became a stay-at-home mom and a homeschool mom. And I didn't know anything about charter schools 4 years ago. And just it's really been since July that's been a crash course for me.
Yeah, and you guys have done an amazing job. I mean, again, this is not an easy process. What would your advice be to anybody out there who's listening and hearing this and saying, "Boy, we'd really like to think about starting a charter school. We'd like to do something like this, and get the access to some of the resources of the state, but be able to kind of control our own destiny." What's your recommendation, and what would be your advice to anybody who wants to kind of get their own charter school system put together? What would you say to them?
Oh, it takes a group of people who are super dedicated to the cause and super dedicated and work well with one another. Without our whole entire academic policy committee, this would have never happened. It really takes unity in vision and unity in relationships to get to this point.
And again, it's a group effort, and everybody's kind of got to be pulling in the same way. Is that what you kind of attribute this success in Nikolaevsk to? Is that you guys all kind of came together as a community? I mean, Nikolaevsk, I get the feeling, I've never been there, but I get the feeling that it's a pretty close-knit community.
It is. It's a small community, and it's a place where people care about and love their neighbors, and we care about each other's kids. And we've been together through the homeschool co-op, and for the last couple of years, just really, really united in what we want to see in the community. We want it to be a place that our kids love and want to grow and contribute to. We don't want them to just be like, "Oh, I can't wait to get out of this small town and move to Anchorage the second I turn 18. We want it to be a place that they can see themselves living and growing in the future.
Well, and that's the ultimate goal, right? Is to create a community that continues to grow, not one that has an outflow for, as soon as, like you said, everybody hits 18 and they leave town kind of thing. You want to create that community, and that's hard, especially in this day and age with kind of the way that education as a whole kind of sits. It doesn't necessarily foster that sense, I think, of community as much as something that's organized by a group of individuals who live there. I think that's the important part. And this focus on CTE, I think, is important and critical because that has had the most success across the nation. I mean, and in for example, Matsu, they've got a huge CTE program, and it's really caused a lot of engagement amongst their older students.
Right. Right now, we have several students in Nikolaevsk that are traveling all the way to Soldotna to take CTE classes like welding and marine technology, and they love it. But that's a long drive, and they're carpooling, and the roads can be scary. And so we're excited to offer our students a chance to take those classes and build up those credentials here locally.
And of course, the beauty of it is it gives parents the choice. If Lisa just said one of her kids likes to homeschool, the other one likes to go to brick and mortar. So, I mean, you've now got the best of both worlds in a small community, giving you the opportunity to, because each child, we homeschooled all 5 of our kids, and they all had different learning styles. All of them had different, and maybe 1 or 2 of them may have done better in a classroom setting with a bunch of other kids. But it just, this gave you the option and the opportunity to do that.
Right. And especially for, families like Lisa's where one student's homeschooling and one is on campus, with the school being right in the middle of the community, she can still bring her homeschooler to the school to participate and to be there for community events and work on some projects without having to drive back and forth to Homer and back and forth to Anchor Point and run all around town. It makes it just more feasible for families to take advantage of all the educational opportunities that are available.
All right, we're going to jump back into it here on the radio. We got one final segment with Natalie Thomas. We're going to continue here. We're going to talk a little bit more about the January 8th meeting and some of the challenges that the charter school is going to be facing here in the coming weeks. The Michael Duke Show.
The Michael Duke Show. Seriously humorous with a pinch of intellect. Sorry. That is humorous. Here's Michael Dukes.
Well, there's a pinch of intellect in there. Little bit. Durr. All right, let's continue on. Natalie Thomas is our guest. We're talking about the Nikolaevsk Homeschool Association and what they've done to bring this new Charter School Association, bringing this new charter school online. And there's going to be some challenges. We know that. Again, there's already people who are out there sniping, didn't want this to happen. And so they've got some heavy lifts going on here in the near future. What are some of the biggest challenges that are going to be facing the new charter school with all this? What are the biggest challenges that you see, 2 or 3 here in the near future before we get to the meeting there, Natalie?
One of them is going to be finding great teachers that are willing to be all the way out in the village, and another one is going to be getting the school furnished. When the public school moved out after the closure, they pretty much stripped the building. So Alaska Homestead Education is going to be hosting a furniture building class through the nonprofit, and that's going to take place starting in February. We have a CNC machine, which is a computerized woodworking machine, and we're going to be building our tables and desks, and so we need help getting materials for that. We're asking community members and businesses if they want to contribute to the charter school and to the vision. We need materials for furniture, and we're going to be having a fundraiser on December 13th at Chapman's Last Chance Bazaar, selling fresh hot pierogi to raise money for the charter school, and we'll be selling those at Chapman on December 13th for $5 each, or 7 for $25. So come out and get a whole bunch of pierogi to feed the family and see all the crafts and things that are for sale. We want the whole community to come to our presentation January 9th at the school, 6 p.m. You can bring all the kids. We're going to be serving Gigi's Pizza and salad, and we'll have an outdoor activity for the kids. And you can come meet the academic policy committee members, ask questions, fill out pre-enrollment forms, and get to take a look at the beautiful school building that's there. We've got 10 classrooms, library, a big gymnasium, cafeteria. It's a really beautiful building with so much potential, and we can't wait to get all the kids back in there and see Nikolaevsk thrive.
If folks want to contribute, do you guys have a website or the Facebook page, or where do they go to contribute if they want to contribute?
Yes, go to akhomestead.org, and there you can read about the charter school. Go under the menu and click on Nikolaevsk Charter School. Our pre-enrollment form is there, so if you want to reserve your space, space is limited, so please go to akhomestead.org, go under the menu to Nikolaevsk Charter School, fill out a pre-enrollment form, and there you can read about our Montessori, CTE, and homeschool programs. You can also donate through that website as well. We want to thank everyone who's contributed so far, all the individuals and businesses that have supported us through donations, buying potatoes, and we sold pierogi at the end of November at Chapman's Bazaar as well. And so thank you to everyone that's supported us so far, and we're going to need a lot more support going forward to really make this the best school it can possibly be.
And so the meeting on the 9th of January at the Nikolaevsk at the school there is going to be educational and to try and attract more people to enroll, especially in the homeschool component. Is that kind of the final pitch there?
Yeah, we want to be able to tell families about what is Montessori, what is CTE, how Nikolaevsk Charter School can really serve their family, whether they homeschool or whether they are looking for a 5-day-a-week program. And we think that Nikolaevsk Charter School is unique in the Montessori aspect and the CTE aspect. We're going to be a very hands-on school. We're going to honor the Russian heritage of our village by observing Pascha and Russian Christmas. So our schedule is going to be, or our calendar is going to be just a little bit different in that we'll have an extra week off at Christmas time to cover Russian Christmas, which is January 7th or 8th, I believe. And we'll also be taking an extra week off in the spring for Pascha.
All right. We're talking with Natalie Thomas from the Nikolaevsk Charter School Association. I've got links up in the chat room. You can go to akhomestead.org. There's a banner right at the top of the page that says learn more about Nikolaevsk. Natalie Thomas, thank you so much for coming on board today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, hold the line for a second. Folks, we're out of time. Hour 2 dead ahead. Crystal Laramore from Wheelchairs for Warriors up next. The Michael Duke Show. All right, Natalie, wanted to give you one final bite at the apple. Is there anything we missed or anything you wanted to expand upon? Now's the time to hit it before I let you go.
Okay, we just want people to go check out akhomestead.org, fill out a pre-enrollment form under the Nikolaevsk Charter School section of the menu. You can email those forms to nicocharter@gmail.com, or if you just have any questions and want to get in touch, nicocharter@gmail.com.
All right, we can go out there. I've posted that link again in the chat room. You could take a look at that there and go over there and take a look. I'm in the site right now. The pre-enrollment form is right there at the top of the page. All you got to do is click that, link it, send it off, and get it done, and keep the Nikolaevsk community alive with their own charter school. It's pretty exciting stuff, and I'm glad that you guys are doing this, and appreciate all your hard work. I know that this has been like a relay race. One group then passes it off to another group, then passes it off to another group, and you only have so many hours, and you guys have done a yeoman's job in getting all this done.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the chance to come on and talk about it.
All right. Well, good luck, and again, we'll try and remind people that on January the 9th, they need to come on up there and get it done. Good luck, and keep us in the loop. Let us know if anything else happens.
Will do. Thank you, Michael.
All right. Thank you, Natalie. Natalie Thomas with the Nikolaevsk charter school. I'm stuck on homeschool. Stuck on the homeschool thing. But it's good that they're creating their own homeschool system and everything else. I mean, I think that is, if you want to do something, you look to somebody who's done it successfully and you model yourself after them. And I will say that the IDEA program has been one of the best homeschooling organizations out there. They have done. They were doing good. What is the food that Natalie was talking about? Pierogies. You've never had a pierogi? It's like a meat pie. It's like a hot pocket with meat and so good. Pierogies are delicious. Absolutely delicious. So, but pierogies definitely. If you want to get it, if you want to enjoy it, that's pierogies are the way to go. They are delicious. So anyway, we're glad that Natalie was here with us, and we appreciate her coming on board. It is, wow, that sounds good, says Chris. Yes, they are delicious. They are absolutely delicious. All right. We are, again, you can go over to akhomestead.org. I posted the link up. I'll post it one more time here just to make sure. This is the direct link to the Nikolaevsk school component of that. And you can go over there and take a look at it and help if you want to do it. And if you want to donate, you can donate through the Gmail that she put out there as well. And we'll get that done. All right, coming up in hour 2, Crystal Laramore with the Wheelchairs for Warriors Foundation is going to be talking with us. And we're going to talk a little bit about that organization and where they came from and what they do and how they're, how they got started. That always fascinates me. It always fascinates me to find out how some of these organizations, what is the genesis of it? Was it a personal issue, a personal tragedy, or was there just somebody who saw a need and decided to step up and put it together? That is one of my favorite things to do is to pull all this done and to get that info out there. It would be fun stuff. All right. Chris says, I'm having a banana. Pierogi sound delicious, but I'm having a banana. I mean, bananas are good too, man. Don't get it twisted. Bananas are fine as well. It's gonna be okay. All right. Coming up on tomorrow's program, we're still working on a guest for tomorrow. I might have somebody from Reason, or we'll see. We'll see where it goes from here. But I'm working on guests, and then next week we're again kind of moving towards that more, trying to get some lighter side stuff in, and do some things like that. And then, of course, the following week, it's going to be, I'm trying to get all light side stuff. It's going to be a little hard because the governor's going to drop his budget on Monday, the 15th. And then, so I know Brad, although I'm going to be keeping Brad for an extra segment for his holiday top 3, But Brad, I know, is going to want to go over the governor's budget in the first, part of the show. But then we're just going to try and that whole last end of the week, 17th, 18th, 19th, is going to be mostly lighter side stuff and just kind of the feel good. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Have the show in a Santa suit, says Harold. I'm wearing my Santa suit right now. That's it. This is how Santa dresses these days. Although I have to laugh. I was in the store in Homer the other day. It was in Safeway, and I was walking around picking up some stuff, and some guy stopped me, and he said, he stopped me and said, "I just want to let you know," like out of the blue, "just want to let you know, I've been good all year." I was like, okay, well, that's good because I had you on my naughty list. And anyway, I thought that was hysterical. All right. Well, we're waiting for Crystal Laramore to jump on board here. Hopefully she'll be here with us in just a moment or so. And I'm going to send an email just as a reminder, but we'll be back. The Michael Duke Show, common sense, liberty-based, free thinking radio. Hour 2 is dead ahead. Let's get to it. Here we go.
Whoa, buddy. Put that thing back in its holster. We haven't gone anywhere.
I don't understand.
Check out the MichaelDukesShow.com for information on how to get access to the podcast.
Welcome to the party, pal.
The Michael Dukes Show.
The greed and the entitlement is astounding to me.
What more could you want from a low-budget radio program?
This is a dumpster fire.
That was just BS.
It is time to get a new perspective.
We know just what you need, and we've got just the cure. Open wide and prepare for a steaming hot cup of freedom.
I just don't fathom it.
The Michael Dukes Show, streaming live across the world.
Live around the world on the internet at michaeldukeshow.com and around the state of Alaska on this, your favorite radio station and or FM translators. Welcome to the program and thanks for coming in on this beautiful Thursday. 37 degrees down here on top of the world in Homer, Alaska. Hopefully it's staying as warm as it can be. I see somebody in Fairbanks said that it dropped below zero like overnight. Like all of a sudden it was 6 below. They're like, somebody turned on the winter switch around here. It of course is a little nasty in other parts of the state. Currently right now there's a winter weather advisory for the Matsu and Anchorage area with a mix of freezing rain and light snow until 6 p.m. this evening, both for the lower Matsu, the southern Susitna, Anchorage, Eagle River, all the areas, the Glen Highway with icy roads and more. In fact, they just made the announcement that all Anchorage schools are closed due to unsafe road conditions. Just seems like kind of a sissy thing to do. Jeez, it's just anyway. Anchorage roads are going to be pretty greasy, and down here on the Kenai as well. There's a winter weather advisory for the interior Kenai, Turnagain Pass, the Southwest Kenai, Ski Lac Lake, everywhere else. Again, freezing rain, sleet, light snow, ice accumulation with a light glaze. Hazardous conditions, periods of light freezing rain, sleet, and snow combined with surface temperatures right around freezing. And it's going to make for already icy side and neighborhood roads are now going to be, main roads are going to be icy and slickery. So winter weather advisory in effect right now for all those areas. So be cautious, be careful. That's what's going on out there. All right. We're going to be talking here in just a minute with Crystal Laramore, who is with the Wheelchairs for Warriors. I see they just popped into the chat room, but she's going to be joining us here via the link that I sent in the calendar invite, and we'll be talking with her about the organization, about what their mission is, about how they got started, kind of all the stuff. I'm interested to hear. I'm interested to hear how all this stuff is going to be, how we're going to get all the details on this. And this is the perfect time to go. I don't know if you've seen the latest commercials on, I guess, TV or the internet, wherever you watch your commercials these days. But they have an absolutely hysterical ad with is it the Yeti, the white gorilla? I don't know, in the wheelchair. Racing around the neighborhood and stuff like that. It's just they've really done some good work over there, and I'm excited to hear more about what they do and how they get it done here. Oh, it keeps saying 404 error. All right, so I'm gonna have to send another link here because she's having a hard time getting on board here. Let me try this link right here. And there we go. We'll see if we can get her on board. And, nothing like a little tech, but today's a positive day. We just finished up talking with the folks from, the folks from the Nikolaevsk, and they got their charter school approved. And that was an exciting time. If you haven't seen that or checked that out, it is you'll be able to go back and listen to it on the podcast, which is available every day wherever you find great podcasts, including Google, Castbox, Stitcher, iTunes, and my favorite, Spotify. And you can jump on board and listen to that and download it. You don't even that's the best thing about the podcast is you don't have to get up at 6 a.m. to listen to the show directly. You can just do it on the outside. It'll be fantastic. All right. Well, I see that Crystal has now joined us, and it's time to get on over there and get our feel goods on, man. That's what we want. It's Christmas time. Who wants to talk about politics? Not me. I want to talk about good things, Christmassy things, fun things. So let's jump on over here, and we're going to talk with Crystal Lee Laramore, who is with the she just dropped right out of she was there, and then she was gone. All right, we're going to see if she can come back here, and we'll try this one more. The technical aspect of this show is amazing. It's what happens when what do you expect from a low-budget radio show? That's all I can say. What do you expect from a low-budget radio show? We're going to get Crystal back on here in just a sec, and there she is. She came back. All right, she's back. Whew, man, had me in a full-on panic mode there for a second. I don't know what it is. Good morning, Crystal. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good morning.
Oh, I can hear her. She can hear me, but I can't hear her. See, that's how it is.
No. We're gonna make
turn
it
your
work.
you got a microphone there. Turn your microphone to the right one, and we'll be good to go. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to we'll have to do this here, and we'll do it here in a second here.
My mic is on.
She's shaking her head no. I could see her, and she can see me, but she can't hear me. I mean, I can't hear her. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Well, let me try this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give her my phone number, and she can call me on the phone while she has the video up at the same time, and we can do it that way. How about that?
Okay.
We're gonna overcome this.
We're gonna adapt
this
and
whole thing here.
overcome.
And so I'm going to give her my phone number, and we're going to see if she can call in and be ready to go here in just a second. This is just how things are going, right? This is just how things are going these days. We'll get her on board here, and we'll have Crystal Laramore, because I want to hear about this. I want to hear about how this all worked, and how everything came together. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow on the program, it is Firearms Friday, your chance to sound off on issues of a 2A nature We'll talk about that and more. And we'll get some details on some of the stories that are around the state. I'm working on seeing if I can get somebody on from Reason Magazine. That's going to be coming on board, and we'll see where we can go from there. All right. Okay. I'd mute her down. Let me do that. Okay. She can hear me. So I'm going to go ahead and mute that. Okay. All right. Can you hear me, Crystal?
I can hear you loud and clear.
See, look at that. We got it to work. We made it work. We
did it.
We can overcome. That's how we do this thing. That's how we make this happen.
StreamYard is always a technical difficulty for me.
Oh,
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, because I use this all the time. Then, it works good, but yeah.
And I had Mike was muted, and then it said it's not muted. So
all right. Well, you know what? We're going to overcome this. So we got the video, we got the audio, everything's good. So let's get talking a little bit about Wheelchairs for Warriors. Now, people probably heard of this organization. You guys have been around for quite a while, and you know, but give folks the thumbnail sketch, the elevator pitch on what Wheelchair for Warriors is. What do you do? What's the mission? Give us some details here.
I always compliment radio show hosts at being really good at asking the right questions. An elevator pitch. What's your elevator pitch? That's a great question because I always talk to my team about their elevator pitch.
Oh, good.
And ours is we provide veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty with custom fit mobility solutions when they have been significantly delayed or completely denied care by their healthcare provider, which would be the VA or workman's comp.
Okay. And it just gives them the ability to have, you know, to live the mobility and have a fulfilling life, whereas otherwise they might be stranded or stuck somewhere and not be able to get out there and enjoy things like like a regular person kind of thing. They deserve
like
to be able to move. Huh? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like the movies, like watching their kids play baseball and softball. It gives them the ability to enjoy freedoms that they fought for us to have. So they lost their ability for freedom, ensuring that we continue to have our freedoms. So we want to give them as much freedom as humanly possible. And we also, the thing that we want to avoid is being a contributor to 22 veteran suicides a day. And the 22 veteran suicides a day is probably closer to 44. And then you're not even counting police officers, firefighters, all of the first responders. So if we can just make a drop in that bucket and we can keep them from being isolated and keep them from being depressed, we're in. It's our mission.
Right. It's that's a challenge. And I often wonder, when we hear that stat all the time, 22 suicides. And I often wonder how much of that is related to, the inability to function in society, and being stuck or, being wounded and needing a mobility device or prosthetic or something like that, and having to deal with the frustration of, I did all this, I did my duty, I did that, and now I'm facing a bureaucratic system that doesn't work with me or work for me, and here I am stuck. I often wonder how much of that is ties back to the inability to try and get back to living life because of these kind of bureaucratic challenges.
It 100% plays a part. We have spoken to many veterans, and once we do a deeper dive into their story and talk to them and listen to them, we hear the stories about, I'm ready to commit suicide. I'm ready to end it all. I feel like, so my country says no man left behind, yet here I am at home left behind. And that's one of our ethos is no man left behind at home. And listen, if a veteran gets a wheelchair from the VA and then they need another wheelchair in 3 or 4 years or 2 years, they should get it. It shouldn't be this system where every 5 years you get a new wheelchair, and then we can only give you this wheelchair, we can only give you this wheelchair, and the system isn't straight across the board. And not every VA is horrible, but also not every VA is as good as it should be. And when you've lost your legs or your ability to walk or your ability to see or hear or any of those things because you served your country needs to serve you back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you guys are doing a big push right now. you're looking to raise funds, again, trying to get mobility devices and wheelchairs and things for every wounded vet out there that can need it. And you guys have done some amazing stuff. I just saw the video of your new commercial with is it a Yeti? Is it a white girl? What is it?
Yes.
It's a Yeti rolling around in this wheelchair in a community in like a neighborhood, and he's just like, yeah, I'm just it is so uplifting. I mean, it takes a topic that can be dark or could be, worrisome, and it really puts a great face on it. And I seriously enjoyed that, and I hope you guys are going to get some good response from that.
Yes. And the closing line is dignity shouldn't be a luxury.
Right.
And I just love that line. And you can tell probably that one of our veterans, a Marine Corps veteran who works with us, he's the one that came up with that. And it was just a brilliant idea. And our PSA advisors loved it, right off the bat. And I was even told that we may be the very first nonprofit to utilize AI for support and for awareness.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool. I mean, it's
cool.
We're
just on the cutting edge over here.
Wait, we finally heard that AI did some good? I mean, kind of thing,
Yeah. I know. I was all heebie-jeebie about it in the beginning, but it just got so much positive feedback. And I also want to ask you a question. Do you know, and no cheating, if you've read it on the website, you can't answer the question, but do you know how much the cost of an average wheelchair is, or the average cost of one of our wheelchairs that we provide?
Boy, I have no idea. I would guess it would be $5,000. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm guessing totally.
Okay. $10,500 is the average cost of a wheelchair that we provide.
Wow.
We're not, we're giving them titanium carbon fiber. We're also looking out for the caregiver, because typically we're serving men who've been injured in the line of duty, and their caregiver typically is their wife. And, women my size, I can't lift a 52-pound wheelchair and put it in the back of my truck or the back of my car. I can't do it. I'm going to need ramping. Well, then I have to lift, then I have to lift the ramping. It's just really cumbersome. These are the things that get, fall through the cracks, these thoughts and these ideas of how we're going to serve. And then who is that going to affect? How are we going to serve, and who all is that going to affect? The children, the wives, all of those things. So we're building lightweight titanium wheelchairs that weigh as much as an AR. And the children can lift it, the spouse can lift it, the caregiver can lift it. And we're not doing 52-pound clunkers. We're building custom seats, custom cushions, custom wheels, adaptive sports wheelchairs, all sorts of things.
Right. Well, again, to allow them to go out and continue to live their life the way they were, prior to being injured. I mean, and that's the whole point here, is to let them live their life to their fullest, and they deserve it, because they've done their duty. They should be given the things that they need to return to life in the fullest way possible as well. We're talking with Crystal Laramore with the Wheelchairs for Warriors organization. You could find them at wheelchairsforwarriors.org. And we're going to continue here in just a moment with Crystal, but we're up against the break. And I want to talk a little bit about the beginning of this organization, because Crystal, she's there. She's got feet on the ground. We're going to talk about it. And when we return, we'll be back. Don't go anywhere. The Michael Duke Show. Common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. Back with more with Crystal Laramore in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll return right after this on the Michael Duke Show.
Running on 100% pure beard power. Oh, also some coffee. We dip our beard in coffee.
Ha, nice beard.
The Michael Duke Show.
Okay, we're going to continue here with Crystal Lee during the. She just ran away. She's just coming back. I want to. Somebody in the people in the chat room are like, we could hear her, but you couldn't hear her. So I'm going to make a change to my settings here, and I'm going to mute your phone for a second, and I'm going to unmute you here and see if I can hear you now on your desktop. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. See how that works?
So
it just started working. Arbitrarily. All right. Okay, good. So we got her here. All right. Well, if you need to take a quick break, you can come back and I'll do it. Otherwise, I'd love to hear more about I'd love to hear more. You're out. What are you out doing today? You said you had something. I know you said in your email that you're
So
talking about.
we are here. Can you see the bio boards in the background?
I can. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So we are here in Dana Point, California, and we're at a supporter's house, and he is having an event for us tonight. He's invited 30 of his closest friends, and we're going to do a fundraising event. But what we're really here to do is to surprise deliver a wheelchair to a recipient. So we've just invited him here, to say, hey, can you come hang out with us? We've got a supporter that would love to meet you. And then we're going to surprise him with his wheelchair tonight.
Oh, that is so awesome. That is just so awesome. That's like the ultimate Christmas time gift right there,
Yeah.
I
Tina's been delivering wheelchairs in New York, and our power assists are the recipients who play adaptive sports. They go to these arenas. They travel all over the world trying to make it to the Paralympics. And, they can't just roll themselves around these big arenas all the time because their shoulders get tired. So by the time they're competing in their competition, they're kind of spent.
Right.
So we give them power assists. Well, the power assists range from $4,500 to $10,150, and that's on top of everything. So she just surprised one of our recipients, Toy Nolan, who served in Baghdad. She just surprised him in New York with a power assist. So we've been playing Santa Claus for a couple of months now.
It feels good. It feels good, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
It's good.
You look like Santa Claus. You could be delivering our wheelchairs.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. I used to live in the North Pole here 10 years ago. I used to live in North Pole, Alaska. That was always the joke, is live from North Pole. Here I am. But it's interesting to see this. I had a guy that I grew up with who ended up in a wheelchair. He wasn't a vet, but he ended up in a wheelchair, and he and I had several conversations about after his accident, the fall, and how he was dealing with it. And he was so positive about it, and so just so impressed. He had a bunch of kids, a bunch of young teens. I was probably 17 or 18 at the time. He had some extra wheelchairs, and he had us play basketball in wheelchairs to see what it was like and everything else. And he's like, it's hard for you guys, but it's better for us. And it was just kind of this eye-opening experience to see somebody who had a positive outlook, but who had the mobility to do it, and then was sharing that kind of experience with other people. It was eye-opening. It was, it was fun to roll in the wheelchair, but then you get up and you realize I can get up and he can't. And it was kind of sobering at that moment as well, So it's very interesting to see that and the difference that it can make.
Right. We got invited to the Department of Defense Warrior Games to work on the wheelchairs when we offered our services as service. So we brought our ATPs and we worked on the wheelchairs when they were playing basketball and rugby and different things. And we were just in our corral, and the different countries, Australia and different countries and different branches, like the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, they would all come to our thing and say, hey, I need a tire, I need an inner tube, I need this, I need that. And we would work on their chairs. Let me tell you something. Rugby is vicious in a wheelchair. I was like, oh my God, you're already hurt. Stop it. You're going to get hurt worse. I was just like playing little mom out there going, I can't watch. But they love it. And it really energizes them. And it's a whole thing. And everybody comes to watch. It's a big deal. I had no idea. And we had 6 of our recipients playing basketball.
Wow. That's got to feel great. All right. Crystal Lee Laramore is our guest. We're about to rejoin the radio. And so we're going to continue here in just a moment. The Michael Duke Show, common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. Go to wheelchairsforwarriors.org and donate.
The Michael Duke Show. Not your daddy. Wait, sorry. Not your daddy? Ooh, not your daddy's talk radio. Whew. I was scared for a second. Thought we were going down. Here's Michael Dukes and the show.
That's right. Not your daddy, nor do I play him on TV. We're back. The Michael Duke Show. Crystal Laramore is joining us with the Wheelchairs for Warriors. And as I was saying earlier in the last hour, I was looking forward to this interview because I always like to hear about how things like this get started. Now, Wheelchairs for Warriors has been around for quite a while. And Crystal, you were the impetus behind this, right? I mean, you were part of the whole founding. And give us what was the genesis of Wheelchairs for Warriors? What was how did it get started? What got it off the ground? Give me some backstory here.
The old saying, God knows the desires of our hearts.
Right.
It's all true. I am a daughter of the American Revolution. My father was 101st Airborne, a Screaming Eagle. My uncle retired as a full bird colonel. My aunt helped start Space Force. I mean, it just runs in my blood. I was in Iraq for 2 years, serving our country with the Department of Defense. And when I came back, I wanted to continue that service in some way. And I didn't know how. I didn't know. I had never worked in the nonprofit arena. I was an entrepreneur and I had always worked in the for-profit arena. And so I just started going to events that honored veterans, and I noticed there was some really bad wheelchairs out there. And it didn't strike me at first that there was anything I could do about it. I just noticed that there were bad wheelchairs. I noticed that there was a Medal of Honor recipient who was 80-something years old, who was in a terrible wheelchair and trying to get down a red carpet thing. Do you know what I mean? And it was like he was struggling. And so we just kind of got up behind him and we pushed him. And that was the first thing that, and it just builds over time. And then I was at an event where a recipient, a veteran in a wheelchair, was skydiving. And I thought, that is so cool. He's skydiving. And he gets down and he lands. And I was like, I'm chicken to go skydiving. And he's, like that. And so his name is Ryan. I'll never forget Ryan. And then he comes down and he lands in this wheelchair. And it's this crappy wheelchair. It's terrible. It's slack. It's like the one $300 at Walmart or $50 at Walmart or Walgreens or wherever. Right. And I was just stunned at how terrible the wheelchair was. And I had a friend that worked on wheelchairs, but he worked in the workman's comp space. And he got in that space because his father was a veteran in a wheelchair who couldn't get help from the VA. And so all of a sudden, the words Wheelchairs for Warriors came to my mind. And it was on. I couldn't not do it. It had to be done. And we did it.
And how long has Wheelchairs for Warriors been up and running?
9 years.
9 years.
Yes.
You guys have been doing a lot of great work out there. And so the organization now, obviously a nonprofit, the whole point is to raise funds and find warriors who need a chair, who are not getting, some are, like you said, some are being served adequately and well, but there's a lot of them out there that aren't getting what they need for
in
the
9 years. 300. We've served 300 veterans and first responders in 9 years.
Wow. And that's some great stuff. And so you started the organization, just you in your basement doing your thing, working with people,
literally in the garage.
In the garage, yeah. Well, that's how all the best organizations start, is in the garage, right? That's how it goes on.
I have a friend who just got a government appointment to the Small Business Administration in DC, and he's a veteran, and he gave us a very high compliment 2 days ago. He said, there are a lot of nonprofits who are struggling and who've just closed shop. They've given back federal funding and they can't make it work. And he said, you guys are a testament to, tightening the reins and not throwing lavish parties and not having huge expenses and really putting the money into the program. And he said, and that's why you're still thriving. And I just thought, that's right. Yeah. And that's the reason I wanted to start my own, was because I had shadowed some other nonprofits who did not do that. And I thought, I don't want to align with that.
Isn't that always the first question? In fact, somebody, I think in the chat room, actually asked the question, how many dollars actually go to the cause and how much pays for the administration? Because we see that. We see some nonprofit where the CEO's pulling down 6 or close to 7 figures, and they're doing fundraising and they're throwing galas and doing all this other kind of stuff. And you always wonder, even the appearance of whether or not they're doing it right, but you always wonder, wow, this is some, I mean, how much is actually making it to the end use recipient? You guys are very clear about what you're doing with your dollars, right?
Yeah. So the challenge with running a nonprofit and having donors and things like that is it's the same as running a business. You can't really run a business on 20% profit and I mean on 20% of what you bring in. You're running a business, probably you're making 20%, you're spending, you got to run your business, right? In the nonprofit world, they want to flip that business model and put 80%, into the programs and only spend 20% running the business. That means salaries, that means rent, that means this, that means that. And it's very difficult to do, but we do it. I've got free rent. We're at a Kramer Chevrolet in Livingston, Texas, gives us a partner's office completely for free. So we have 3 of us officing in one space, and we all, since COVID, work from home and do things like that. So our 990 reflects that we tighten up as much as we can. And so we're a little over 80 cents of every dollar goes into the program.
Yeah, which is significant.
It's a miracle.
I mean, that's significant. Yeah. Because again, a lot of those are, you're lucky to get 50 cents of every dollar going into a program or something like that. So that's really good. And you guys are a nationwide thing. Do you have chapters in various states, or do you
No, it's how come we can put 80 cents of every dollar straight into the program? We're the quick response team. I live in Livingston. I office out of Livingston. Tina is our business development director and also basically the operations director, and she offices out of her home. Savannah is our media director. She offices out of her home. Kimberly is our executive administrative assistant, and she offices with me. And then we have a grant writer, and he offices with me or at home. And everybody has laptop, will travel, and we don't have chapters, and we're not overextending ourselves. And we pay cash for everything. I don't take loans out on things. I've seen a lot of nonprofits get in a lot of big trouble by big brick and mortar. Then you have big electric bills. We don't pay for electricity. We don't pay for internet. We don't pay for offices because, if you tell me you have 2 nickels to rub together, I'll sweet talk you out of one of them.
Right, exactly. We need to get it going on. So across the country, so Wheelchairs for Warriors works across the country. You've served over 300 members right now. How do you reach out? I mean, Alaska, we have more veterans per capita than any other state in the nation. Alaska does. Yeah. We have more veterans per capita than any other state in the nation. It's huge veteran population here. So how do you reach out to areas around the state? You're in Texas. You got to reach to the East Coast, the West Coast, Alaska, Hawaii. I mean, how do you reach out to these other organizations or these other areas and try and serve those people? What is the criteria? What do people do?
So one of the things that we do is the public service announcements, and PSAs are, we're not charged for when radio stations and TV stations run our PSAs. We're not charged for that. We are charged kind of for the distribution, but that goes out nationally. And then typically how we're found is that they're Googling us, and our SEO is really good. And if you type in wheelchair, or you type in a wheelchair for a veteran or something like that, I own probably 15 URLs, come from a marketing background. So that was, handy information to know, to just buy all the URLs, whatever you think they're Googling when they're sitting there frustrated with the system. And then word of mouth, but we don't advertise. I don't do mail outs. I don't spend a lot of money on anything print. People ask us for our trifold. They get it's like, I'll email it to you, but we don't print them. We really spend very little money. And with the, when you see Tunnels to Towers, which is a good organization, but when you see those commercials and they're asking for money and they're saying for 22, they're paying for that advertising. So we don't pay for advertising. We just don't have it.
No,
I want to spend the money on the wheelchair.
Yeah, no. And my stations, I own the radio stations here. We're running Wheelchairs for Warriors. And I reached out to Crystal because I got an email about their new ad campaign, which includes the Yeti in the wheelchair, which is a video ad. So I can't share that with the radio audience, but it is hysterical. And that's what actually caused me to reach out to Crystal and to talk to her about it, because this is an important thing. I believe that these people, the veterans out there, the men and women who fought for the country and who have been injured in the line of duty, they deserve to live as full a life as possible. They were promised, to be able to do those things. And when they don't get it, it's, again, that frustrating. It contributes to that whole 22 a day problem that we were talking about. And so what you're doing out there is amazing. So if there are veterans, for example, in Alaska who are struggling, because I've heard plenty of horror stories about, VA in Alaska and everything else, then they should just reach out directly to your organization and say, here's the situation, or a spouse that says, here's the situation for my spouse, this is what's going on. They just reach out to you and see what they can do, see if they can qualify to work with you guys.
Yep. And they can apply online. And they can just go online and apply. And I really want to emphasize this. One of our biggest expenses is airfare. And flying to Alaska ain't cheap. So if anybody wants to come get us.
Anybody wants to you want to contribute some airline points to get them up here, get them going on. That's for sure. All right, Crystal Lee Laramore.
We want to come to Alaska too. We're all like, yes, we want to come.
Well, yeah, it's a good excuse. You can come up and meet all these veterans up here that you don't.
I think that's so exciting because your little friend Texas thinks that they have the most veterans.
Oh, we have to laugh at Texas. I mean, we could cut ourselves in half and make Texas the third largest state if we really wanted to. But
I like the T-shirts that say hello to my little friend, and it's Alaska with Texas, over here.
Exactly. We got to give Texas. My grandparents are from Texas, so we have to give them a hard time a little bit every now and then. All right, Crystal Lee Laramore is our guest. We're going to continue here in just a second. One more segment dead ahead. Don't go anywhere. The Michael Dukes Show continues. We've got more right after this on the Michael Dukes Show.
Running on 100% pure beard power. Oh, also some coffee. We dip our beard in coffee.
Nice beard.
The Michael Dukes Show.
Okay, we are in the break. Crystal Laramore, our guest, continues with us here. We got one final segment coming up, just to give her as much airtime as we can to express what they're doing out there. Rick says he typed it into Grok, and you came right up as the top response, and that's good. That's what it is.
Yeah, what did he type in?
I don't know. Rick, what did you type in? Tell us what you typed in here. Miguel also again confirmed Alaska has the most veterans per capita. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
Jack.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a fact. Can you share it with the Facili book audience? The Facebook audience. I think he's asking me to share the video, which I know that I got. I don't have it in this email chain. Crystal, if you would reply, I know you probably got the link.
It's on our PSA. It's on our PSA platform, so I don't have a link to the video. Exactly. Do you PSA play it?
We don't. Well, the video, I don't play the video because it's on a radio station. But let me see here if I can look for it. I think it's. Oh, you guys don't use PSA Direct. You use something else here. Hold on a second, Brian. I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can find the. I'll see if I can find the whole thing here in Santa Mail and Trash, and boom. Let's see if we can find the video. Yes, new content. Finally, here it is. Okay, let me. I'll drop the link in the chat room. And you guys can go take a look at this. It is hysterical. There we go. That's the link to the PSA to the video. You guys can go watch it. It with the Yeti and the wheelchair. It's pretty darn good. It's hysterical. Rick said, "Wheelchairs for Warriors" is what he put into Grok, and it popped it up immediately.
Of course.
Okay. That was pretty easy. That one was pretty.
That was pretty easy. Somebody needs to just type in "wheelchairs for veterans" or something and see if that helps.
Yeah, exactly. And what's your criteria for deciding, if somebody qualifies? Is there what kind of process do you go through because we've got a lot of veterans out there, across the country. What is the criteria when they send you an email and said, hey, it's me or my husband or my spouse or whatever? What kind of criteria do you go through to look at whether or not you can help somebody?
So they have to have a DD-214, or they have to be a police officer and have some sort of identification that they were injured in the line of duty. And then they have to, Tina sends them several documents to sign saying that we can use their story, we can use their face, we're going to give you this wheelchair, you have to be a good steward of it, you can't use it to try to kill anybody, or we're going to take it back. And just some documents that they sign, and they go through it, and then we talk to them, and we just have to, if they're saying that they're delayed or denied care by the VA, we just ask them questions, who was the caregiver, who was the person telling no, because we're not the first line of defense. We don't have that kind of money. We may have $70,000 to $80,000 in the bank. We might have $30,000 in the bank, and the average cost of a wheelchair being $10,000. We just have to be good stewards of that money. And
Right.
so it is the VA's responsibility, and it is a workman's comp responsibility to serve you. But if they won't, which in a lot of cases they don't, then we step in.
Right. Okay. Rick
And
said,
we can also work with the veteran to say, give me the person's number at the VA that you're working with, your doctor, your nurse, your caregiver. And sometimes we can give them the phone number of somebody who, like the Disabled American Veterans, will help them get pushed through the system.
Right. That was going to be my next question. So sometimes you guys don't provide necessarily the wheelchair, but you provide them an avenue or more contacts to be able to get the VA to do what it was supposed to do in the first place.
Right.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Rick said, I typed in wheelchairs for veterans, and the first one up was wheelchairs for warriors. Okay. So he did type that. She's doing her SEO is on point. It's all good.
It's all good.
She's jazzed about it. She's like, yeah, I got it. Another one in the can. Let's see. Where does all your material? I don't know what Rick's asking. Where does all your material come from? Frank says, easier to buy a gun than getting a wheelchair. Well, yeah. In some cases, yeah. When you look at it, like you said, unless you want the $50 Walmart special, it is tough. Nobody wants to fork out real money for something like that. But if you're going to be stuck in the chair to try and get mobility, it has to be comfortable. It has to be, like you said, nobody thinks about a wheelchair that weighs 50 or 60 pounds. How are you going to get that into the car? How's your spouse going to help you? How's a
How are you going to get it through the doors in the bathroom of your mother's house? That's,
it's not ADA compliant.
wide doors.
Yeah, exactly. So no, this is all great stuff. All right. We're going to continue here. Again, Crystal Lee Laramore, our guest. We're about to return to the radio for one final segment, and then we'll let her have her pitch at the end where she can say, send us some dollars. We'll get it done. Yeah, we like that. All right. We're going to continue. Crystal Lee Laramore, our guest, The Michael Duke Show. Common sense, liberty-based, free thinking radio. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the YouTube-y things. Let's do it. Here we go.
Public enema number one. Oh, wait, sorry. Public enemy number one, which makes more sense. On the other hand, he's a little bit of a pain in the Michael Duke Show.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a perfect angel. Nobody thinks I'm a pain in the whatever. All right, we're continuing now with our guest, Crystal Lee Laramore, who is the founder of Wheelchairs for Warriors.org. They serve the veteran population out there, trying to provide them with mobility products so that they can live their lives and enjoy their life. And again, whether that's somebody who wants to participate in, parasports or something like that, or they just want to, Crystal was just saying, they want to go to mom's house for Christmas or Thanksgiving and they can't navigate the big hospital wheelchair through the narrow hallways and the narrow doorways. Maybe they just need something a little bit, more compact, a little lighter, and to make life a little bit better. You said you served a bunch of folks, 300 folks. The question, one of the folks in the chat room asked the question, what is the what is the population out there, do you think, that is unserved? What is the estimate of the unserved population of warriors and veterans out there that really are in need of your services.
Yeah. I couldn't even begin to answer that question. And when you Google it and you try to get the data from the VA, I mean, we don't have the manpower or the bandwidth to do a study and to find that out. So we don't really know. And the data is not available from the VA because I've tried.
Yeah. It's some tough stuff, but we know that there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably reaching into the thousands that could be served every day. And the more people that know about the mission of Wheelchairs for Warriors, the more people that could contribute or donate, a $10 bill or a $20 bill or whatever, means the more people that you can serve with 80 cents of every dollar or more going out to the cause and organization. You guys are pretty lean and mean. This is what we need to do. How do we get better? How do we put Wheelchairs for Warriors out of a job? Right? That's my question. How do we, your ultimate goal should be that you don't have to do this anymore.
We say that all the time. Yeah.
How do we fix what's busted right now? What do we need to do?
No, that's a whole other show. No.
No. Is it fixable?
You're not tricking me into this. I'm not going down a rabbit hole.
I guess is it fixable, or is it just so monumental and gargantuan that you just can't get to it? And this is what it's going to take.
It's going to take VSOs who not only do this, but help veterans get prosthetics, who help veterans get in homes that are, ADA, ADA compliant. Yeah. I mean, just tons and tons and tons and ramping for their home. I've got a good friend that has Operation Ramp It Up. He provides ramping to veterans and first responders and to anyone disabled, actually. And it's just always going to take the public. When a storm hits, when a tsunami hits, the American people show up. It's not the government that we need to rely on, but we do need to reappropriate some of that money.
Right.
Because they are just like the big nonprofits, like Wounded Warrior Project that I called the Jim and Tammy Faye Bakers of the nonprofit world. The government is like that. They have the money to do their job, but they're all making so much money and they're overrun with employees. They have too much.
Right. Well, that gets to be that conundrum of you've got enough money now that you're spending money to get more money. You're spending money that you've raised to get more money to raise, to where it's this conundrum of now it's become a money machine instead of serving, what it was.
Except for the federal government is just taking our money. And if they have too much money, they just need to give some of it back to us.
Right. They just need to do that. Rick just said in the chat room, Grok estimates between 50 and 100,000 veterans have unmet needs as of 2025. Now, that's not all mobility needs or prosthetic needs.
Right. No, I believe that 100%.
It's a lot of folks out there who need it. And I think you just nailed it too. You said it's when the people have to get involved, the community. And, not to get political, but the divisiveness that we've seen in the country over the last 15 or 20 years is not helping, because, we just need to come together as a community and do things together, where if something is busted or something is not working right, like you said, when it's a flood or something, or a natural disaster, we all come together. That's what we need to do with this. We need to come together and help our warriors who gave something of themselves to protect the country or to defend us. We need to come together in that way.
That's well said.
Yeah. So final pitch here, Crystal Lee Laramore. What are we going to do? How are we going to tell people about it? What can people do in their local communities? Like you said, you don't have branches or chapters or outreaches or anything else, but people, just regular old folks in their local community can help out by donating, or to let people know that you guys are available.
Sure. You can go to wheelchairsforwarriors.org. You can see different ways to give, and monthly giving is a big deal. A little bit goes a long way, especially when multiplied by thousands of people. We have a Touch 22 program that we started because of one of our recipients who was on the verge of committing suicide when we showed up. And, you can donate $5 a month, $10 a month. You can donate as little or as much as you like, and a little bit goes a long way. We have legacy giving. There's There's just so many different ways to share the message, to go onto our Facebook, follow us on LinkedIn, and share some of our stories, share with your friends. If you're a corporation or an organization, if you have end of year giving dollars that you would like to give to us instead of Uncle Sam, we're better stewards of your money than the federal government, clearly.
I could tell that Crystal is a woman after my own heart. She would love this show every day, you know. Please give it to us rather than give it to the government. And you know,
That's right.
I couldn't believe that you know, I couldn't believe on that any harder, because you're right. Giving it to the government really doesn't lead to anything decent or good at that point. But again, local community members, folks coming together, small organizations like this is great. And the fact that you guys are just out there trying to leverage your, you know, PSAs and things like that in a low dollar way to be able to give more back to the veteran community, I think is just ideal. I love it. I love the fact that you guys are out there. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on here. And if we wanted to do something, if somebody wants to, you know, do you ever do things like clinics or something like that, or any kind of gatherings or get together like you're doing it in California right now, right? You're doing a fundraiser
Yes.
in California. You're secretly giving away a wheelchair at the same time, but I mean, if we could create something like that up here where you guys could come up here and do a fundraiser, that's something that you would love to do, right?
We would love that a lot.
Yeah. So maybe with
Golf
all
tournaments. I don't know. Do you guys in Alaska play golf?
some people play golf. There is golf up here. They have some golf courses. I mean, those people are diehard. That's like, you know, they only get
What's the big sport up there? Hockey?
hockey is big. Hunting and trapping is big. I mean, that's not really a
Yeah.
sport, a competitive sport, but you know, yeah, you know, hockey's big. Of course, we do high school football and volleyball and all that. But yeah, hockey is a pretty big sport up here. But
Mhm.
yeah, we need to gun shows. We need to have you guys at a gun
Oh,
show. That's what we
yeah,
need.
gun show. That'd be good.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it would be great to bring you guys up here and have a big fundraiser up here for that. So you and I should stay in contact, and
Absolutely.
maybe we can get the listeners to pool some dollars or pool some airline miles and get you guys some tickets up here and put together a and of course, we're only going to bring you up here in the middle of the dead of winter. We're not going to bring
I
you
know.
up here
I was just gonna say, do we get to choose the month?
you know, exactly. We're not going to bring you up when it's sunny and nice. We're going to bring you up at the dead of winter so that you guys can experience the real Alaska.
You know what we should do? We should take a veteran and get in one of those planes that land on the water.
Sure,
What's it
float
called?
plane. Float plane.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never been on one.
Oh,
And veterans love to do crazy stuff.
yeah. No, float plane is I mean, I'm flying float planes when I was a kid. That was and flying with my dad and stuff like that. That's a fun time for sure.
We took a veteran gator hunting. We took a veteran on an airboat. I've sent veterans up to Colorado to go hunting for elk. Because
Yeah.
just another nonprofit did that and called us and asked for some of our veterans' names, and so we did that. And then there's a couple other deep sea fishing, just interesting
Yeah.
stuff. But
Well,
skydiving.
I live down here by the ocean. I'm sure we could.
Okay, so if you can hear me, the final pitch is we have 13 warriors waiting for wheelchairs, and you do the math at the average cost of 10,500 per recipient. And we're just in that final push to get some of these wheelchairs paid for, because when the new year starts, all of a sudden, new applicants roll in. So we would like to get these 13 that we have waiting at least, covered financially. They won't all get delivered this year, but we could get them covered financially. Oh, somebody's saying, Crystal, keep talking. Well, oh, okay. Well, anyway, thank you so much for having me on this show. It was wonderful to speak to all of the warm and toasty people in Alaska. I'm sure that y'all are all bundled up, and I'm going to go grab my parka out of the closet and get ready. Snowshoes. I'm going to need some snowshoes, and I'm going to get ready to come see you guys, but not in the dead of winter. Don't do that to me. Tina and I'll be there. Tina, here's Tina. Tina says,
Worked in some salmon fishing or something, ice fishing.
yeah, no. Tina said, okay, I want to go on in a water plane, and Tina wants to go ice fishing, and I think that's crazy. Y'all can all go ice fishing together.
And I'll cook it.
Oh, and Tina, oh, and listen to this. It's not for nothing, but Tina is an amazing, amazing chef. She is bougie as, and she
There we
can
go.
make some really
Okay.
good tuna tartare.
Okay, wait a second. All I heard was bougie as bougie could make with tuna tartare. That's what I just heard. So we didn't hear you there for a second. Go ahead.
You
Tell
didn't hear
tell-
me? I thought we couldn't hear you. I thought everybody could hear me.
Well, everybody could hear you except for me. And so now all
Oh.
I heard was bougie tartare. I saw you show us your friend there.
Bougie tartare. So Tina and I are going to come up there. We're going to have a fundraiser. We're going to meet some of your veterans. We're going to see who we can serve, who needs served, and then we're going to go on a water plane. Is that what it's called?
A float plane.
A
'cause
float
it
plane.
floats
We're
underwater,
going to go
yeah.
on a float plane. We're going to go ice fishing. Whatever we catch, Tina's going to cook for us. She is a bougie foodie, and she's a very good chef.
That's all we care
Did you
about.
see her? What?
I did. I saw her over there. She's over there doing the work. Hi, Tina. Hi, Tina. Thanks for coming on board. All right. We heard your final elevator pitch, but give it to me one more time for the podcast recording because they couldn't hear it. So one final elevator pitch. You've got how many? How can we help? What do we need to do? Crystal Lee Laramore.
We have 13 warriors waiting on wheelchairs, and we would love to get that funded by the end of the year because every day we're getting new recipients. And the first of the year, we always get a flood of new applicants. So we would like to get those 13 paid for. Please, Jesus, not have to worry about, funding those anymore.
Right.
And be Santa Claus. It's your time to shine as Santa
My
Claus,
time to
all of
shine.
you.
All right. Well, if you can, break out your wallet, wheelchairsforwarriors.org. A monthly donation of $5 to $10 to $100, whatever it is, goes a long way. A one-time donation helps as well. And like I said, we're going to see if we can get Crystal up here maybe this next year. We'll do some kind of fundraiser and have a fun time because she seems like pretty cool people. And maybe we will have a show where she comes back and tells us how we can fix the whole problem. She said that's
We can.
We
I was
can.
a political consultant for almost 30 years, and I left it to do this.
Yeah. Well, probably better for your mental health, quite honestly.
Much, and my sleep.
Yeah. And because I got to tell you, I don't deal with national politics on this show. It's all local politics, which is much better.
Bad enough.
Well, it's better because at least you can affect that, right? I can't affect what's going on in Washington, D.C. At least I can see if my local city council member is going to get elected or some kind of change at the borough or the county level or whatever. We can work on those. But man, the madness of trying to affect something at the national level, I might as well just smash my face into this desk until I'm unconscious.
Yes, which is why when you said, can you help? It's like, no, I've been asked. I could have been a government appointment in the first Trump administration to the VA. And I just laughed until I was crying. And I just said, thanks so much for calling.
But no.
My pleasure.
But no, thank you. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Nobody needs that. What can Tina do with 10 pounds of fresh caught silver salmon fillets?
Tina, what can you do with 10 pounds of fresh caught silver salmon fillets? Oh my goodness, the things. Oh, she's running right back over here to have this conversation.
Oh, she wants to.
She was so too important to miss. I do the baked citrus salmon. That is phenomenal. And so, a whole salmon. We'll do a little citrus salmon glaze on there, and then we'll do a salmon tartare, maybe a little poke bowl with that. So I mean, that's just a teaser. Once we actually get there, you'll see.
Okay, we'll see.
It's better in person than in the words that she uses. Trust me. This is the woman to go to cook your fish.
All right. Well, Crystal Lee Laramore and Tina, thank you guys so much. Crystal, don't lose my email. Let's talk about this. Maybe we can do something next
You
year.
had us at Come to Alaska.
I know.
I even have a puffer coat.
Yeah, I just told him I'm going to go grab my coat out of the closet and get ready.
Geez. Yeah, you need, but again, more veterans per capita than any other state in the nation. You guys need to be here.
Did not know that.
I know. We didn't either. We thought we were the biggest. But anyway, whatever. They said, say hello to my little friend, Texas. So I want to tell y'all, can I just tell a little story that has nothing to do with veterans?
Sure.
And everything to do with Alaska?
Okay.
It's your fault I like beer.
It's our fault that you like beer?
Yes.
How's that?
The first time I came to Alaska, I was drugged from one microbrewery to another microbrewery because you can only drink so many ounces of beer because it's, strong. And then you have to go to the next microbrewery. So you just keep going around all these microbreweries. And then I discovered that I really, really like IPAs. And I really, really like stouts. A porter stout is my favorite. And then a pecan porter is actually my favorite. And then the IPAs, love them.
Oh, yeah. You need the 49th State Brewing Company makes a super uber double IPAs, really stinky and just so chewy and good.
Yeah.
Oh,
love
so
it.
good.
Yes.
I love
and
it. All right.
I want a brewery to make a red lager or some kind of beer that gives back to Wheelchairs for Warriors. So it would be called the Rolling Strong or the Warrior something that intimates that it's attached to Wheelchairs for Warriors. And then we want to promote it everywhere. So for your listeners, whoever's making beer out there.
I got a few friends who work in the brewery industry. Maybe we should talk to them about creating an Alaska-based brew specifically for Wheelchairs for Warriors that maybe they can get out to the rest of the country. So it'll be
if they call it Red, I have a song coming out. I've written one song that got airplay. It went to number 26 on the charts. It's called Rolling Strong. Sandy June sang it. And we're writing another song together. We're wrapping it up in January. And it's called Red. And it's going to go hand in hand with a very patriotic beer.
Oh, man.
The beer should be called Red to be attached to this song. So if anybody wants to talk to me about it, I'm all ears.
The Red, White, and Rolling Blues. That's what it is. Something like that.
It's my gosh. Listen, that's good.
Isn't that good? That's good. I work in marketing. I'm just telling you. All right. Well, Crystal, thank you so much.
We have a meeting we're late to. We've talked long enough.
We got to go. Thank you. And Tina as well. Appreciate you being part of it. Thanks for coming on.
Nice meeting you.
God bless you. Merry Christmas to you both. Thanks for being part of it.
You too.
Same
to you.
Appreciate you.
Same.
All right, folks. Yeah, we are out of time for today, my friends. That was fun. I mean, even with the whoopsie at the end, it is what it is. We're going to get back to it. All right, my friends, we're going to get out of here. Thank you for coming on board and joining us. The Michael Duke Show, common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. We will see you guys tomorrow. Be kind. Love one another. Live well. We'll see you guys then. Have a good one.
We've shed our terrestrial radio skin, and now we are slimy lizard internet people. It's the Michael Duke Show.